And as the riders come out for the start of the Shell Oil 250cc production series, we should explain that the crash to which Donny Osborne alluded occurred in the running of the 250cc Australian Grand Prix. It involved Michael Dowson, Jeffrey Sale and Donny Osborne. Sale was knocked out for a period of seconds, but is in the ambulance room at the moment, is quite well sitting up, and I had a chat with him just a little while ago, and apart from having no memory of the crash itself, he seems to be in good condition. Well, Peter Clifford, we're now looking at the riders warm up for the start of the Shell Oil 250cc production series. Round one has already been won this morning by Graham Morris from Ian Perrow, with Ian Swift third in a very hard-fought race. We've got 26 Kawasaki's, 22 Yamahas and 7 Suzuki's, making up a total field of 55 250cc production bikes.
Yes, it's a very, very strong field indeed, isn't it? And of course the first race won by the 250 Honda, so although the Hondas are vastly outnumbered, that was actually the bike that came out on top, so it'll be very interesting to see whether he can do so again. And these riders swinging backwards and forwards, some of them to warm up the tyres. Although these are treaded tyres, they still have the problem that the circuit is still going to be damp after that little shower, and it's going to be very tricky indeed. It's going to be slippery coming onto the straight, and I wouldn't be surprised to find that there's going to be quite a lot of slipping and sliding and action in the first few laps of this race.
For this race to be over 15 laps of the 1.6 kilometre Calder Park circuit.
And that's a really packed grid of young men, very eager and keen to get away.
No, not that way they don't. The starter, having learnt his lesson from the earlier event, doesn't give them the go. And wisely they pull back. All in readiness. It looked like a big start from Ian Perrow on bike 13, but we'll wait until they get closer to us. Yeah, that's Perrow on the inside. And he seems to claim the first corner.
Yes, the whole pack getting through the first corner in safety, it looks like it, and it's Perrow now who's actually relegated. He's been pushed way back.
Ian Swift is on bike 24. He came third in the first heat this morning.
And Perrow will be cursing himself for letting that good start get the better of him, and he must have run wide on the first corner.
Grant Hodson on the 250cc Kawasaki is in second position. And this is Glowweave Corner, the corner that has brought down so many riders in the earlier event, and one which these men will have to be very careful of. Right there you can see the blackness laid by the rubber.
And that's some cement dust laid down to pick up the oil that may have been dropped by the crashing machines. But it's still number 24, Ian Swift, who leads on the 250 Kawasaki. And two men down. Perrow was the second to go. The first man down was number 111. That was Andrew Roberts on a 250 Kawasaki.
Perrow also already trying to pick up his machine and get it moving again. Let's see what happened.
The front wheel just tucked under of Roberts' machine. Perrow seemed to be able to ride past him, but obviously having to hold a very tight line to avoid the fallen man, just had the bike slide away from him, and was in fact lucky not to be run over by an ensuing competitor.
A great shame for Ian Perrow as we watch the leader Ian Swift come down the main straight, followed by Grant Hodson. Then comes bike 19, Terry Paviol from Queensland, and bike 50, Robert Duran. And the oil flag you can see there is now out, perhaps one lap too late.
Yes, it's good to see number 19 there, Terry Paviol, doing so well back in Australia. Had a very disappointing year in Europe, riding for Sid Griffiths when he had all sorts of machine problems, absolutely no money at all to put them right. And it's good to see him on a competitive machine in this class of racing.
Big dice for a third position between Pav and Duran.
So it's the two green Kawasaki's leading the two red and white Yamahas. Very Yamahas, not able to make up ground on the Kawasaki's in front of them.
Down settles the front of Paviel's machine as he goes for the brakes up the back straight. Terry Paviel started road racing fairly late in life, about middle 20s, but has shone in local production racing since then. And like many others who've gone to England and Europe from many countries, and plenty of them from Australia, discovered how hard it is to make your way over there, how much of a budget you need, and how difficult it is being away from home. More money to be spent and often less of it available.
And these two now beginning to come under pressure from another group of 2 Kawasaki's and a Suzuki behind them. So it could be a build-up to a very interesting battle.
2.94 seconds separates second from third position.
Sorry, that's 2 Yamahas leading here. They're in third and fourth places. It's in fact a Yamaha, a Kawasaki and a Suzuki behind, building up to a 5-way battle for third place. Number 12 there, the Suzuki, that's ridden by Stephen Cooper, his first race on this machine, just ahead of Sean Gallagher, number 02 on the green Kawasaki.
Fairly famous number on a fairly famous colour scheme, actually, when you consider that that's what Greg Hansford used to ride on.
And Ken Worley, the middleman of those 5 on the 250 Yamaha. And Kawasaki nips inside. That was Gallagher got inside there, passing Stephen Cooper. And Paviel seems to have got away just a fraction from Doran, leaving him to fend off. Oh, very, very close battle as the Suzuki gets passed once more by 71 Worley on the Yamaha. Really hectic stuff, exciting, very evenly matched machines. Vast differences in styles you can see there from the riders. But that was the leader just flashing across the start line. Ian Swift still well ahead on his 250 Kawasaki. But it's all on for 5th place. And the Kawasaki ran wide, too fast into the corner, and Doran got back into 6th place on the Yamaha. But Paviel, not upset by the battle behind him, as a clear road and unobstructed, is getting away a little bit. So he's secure in 3rd.
Snarling pack there, 6 of them separated by just 1.2 seconds.
And the 6 of them, incidentally, putting out in total about 300 horsepower, which is exactly the sum total of Rod McElnay and Wayne Gardner's vocal, when you think of it.
So it's a real tactical race and a bit of cut and thrust between these men now. And that's the leader, number 24, still well out ahead, Ian Swift on the 250 Kawasaki.
Peeling into the corner, Stephen Cooper, 12. Cooper on the 250 Suzuki.
And that was 02, I think, Sean Gallagher, who's run off the track, so he's now out of that group. Looks as though he ran off the track in the background. He remained upright and will have regained the circuit, but well out of contention. And that's Paviel now, who still leads that little group.
They might look slow bikes by comparison with the other bikes that have been racing here today, but they're bikes that retail for around $3,500, and from their 48 horsepower or thereabouts, they will cover a standing start 400-meter run in less than 14 seconds, somewhere in the 13-second mark, and that will out-accelerate most road cars, such as, for instance, a 5-litre Brock Commodore, would be left standing by these 250cc $3,500 motorcycles. They are very quick. Top speed at Bathurst, better than 190 kilometres an hour.
And here's the race for the lead. They've suddenly closed right up, and it's Ian Swift in the lead. Behind him is bike 8, Grant Hodson. And Hodson obviously out to prove that the race is not always to the swift.
And there's another rider down. That's a 250 Yamaha that's fallen. Rider battling with the machine. That was number 71, one of that pack. He went down. That's Ken Worley, who tried a little too hard to get the best of that battle.
Yes, Worley, in fact, had been lying in 5th place, and now he's just lying. There's the man, though, that they're chasing, Ian Swift. Great job on the Kawasaki that was vanquished by the 2-stroke Honda of Craig Morris in the first heat.
And that battle for third has rather been sorted out a little bit, because Paviel still has third place, and things have been settled in the fact that Stephen Cooper holds a secure 4th as we watch the leader cutting his way through back markers. Swift still leading. Does a nice job of getting through the back markers very, very cleanly there to keep himself well ahead of Hodson.
Lovely shot there of the bike streaming off down the straight, and all the rubber lying off the track just near the Armco fencing.
Number 8 there, the second place man on the 250 Kawasaki, Grant Hodson. He's got to find quite a little bit extra if he's going to get on terms with the leading bike 24, Ian Swift.
Yes, by standards of these races, Swift has a fairly commanding lead. He's looking very good. He does have the disadvantage of having to be the leader of the pack through the lap traffic. They're not expecting anybody at this stage. He's the man that announces the news, and that usually costs the leader time. But he's doing it very well.
There's a lot of machines ahead of him now. It could be crucial to his winning of this race, the way he deals with them.
Glenn Sutcliffe on 70, the man they've just gone by.
The gap first to second is now 2.45 seconds. So a good job being done by Ian Swift to open a security blanket.
And he does seem to be making good use of the back markers. Number 24 tucking down and actually using the slipstream of number 20, John Chido.
It's really interesting to watch the style of someone like Swift, who's obviously got it all together, compared to some of the back markers that he's going through. He is passing down the back of the back straight just now, where his movements on the gear shift and brake were so much less than the man he was passing. He was really punching at the bike and abusing the machine rather than working with it.
And he now takes it a little bit cautiously as he comes upon 3 men in one corner, round the outside of one, eases off a little as he runs across the cement dust that's been laid on the circuit.
Concentrating on their own dice is Noel Prichter on 4, and on 26, and fairly oblivious actually of being lapped by the leader, Anthony White.
9 more he is.
That was a very good example of inexperience. He saw the man trying to outbrake him on the inside, thought it was part of his own battle, and said, oh, well, I'll brake a little bit later. Didn't realise that it was a far better man coming alongside.
And indeed it cost him a place, as you saw. Blue flag about to come out. For those of you not Australian, that means the last lap.
And Swift just got to keep it all together now, keep his concentration going, make sure he doesn't make any mistakes.
So Swift just with the S's and the run onto the straight to be negotiated for him to take victory. And doing it very well indeed, just very calmly, lifting himself a little in the seat, moving his body over to the inside, which both brings the centre of the gravity of the machine to the inside of the corner, but it also actually, the knee tends to haul the bike down into the corner, and you're steering it really as much by the knee as you are by the body as he takes victory in that round of the Shell Oil's 250cc production series, and does it very convincingly. Ian Swift on Kawasaki number 24, from Grant Hodgson second and number 8, and Terry Paviel, recently returned from 2 seasons in Europe, third on Yamaha number 19.